my name is Carmel. I work with Eastside Neighborhood Services with the Vital Living program. Thank you for joining me today for Vital Fitness. Let's get seated in our chairs. Make sure it's a chair that has no wheels underneath. You want to be nice and stable, clear surroundings, and of course, a bottle of water nearby you so that you can drink whenever you need to and also stay hydrated. You don't want to wait till you're thirsty. Let's place our hands on our stomach. We're going to do some belly breathing. Belly breathing is when we inhale, let it reach all the way down to our belly and let it expand. And then exhale and let it all out, deflating our belly. So I'll talk you through this. Let's go ahead and inhale through our nose. Expand that belly. Hold. And then exhale it all out, deflating that belly. Try again. Inhale all the way in through our nose, expanding that belly, and then exhaling it all out. I forgot to pause at that one. Let's try that one more time here. Inhale all the way in, into our nose, expanding that belly, and pause. Now exhale it all out. Okay, remember to have comfortable clothing on that you can move around in. This is an all abilities exercise class, so feel free to adjust any of the movements as needed. You know your body best, so let's go ahead and start with our head and our neck, just our head and our neck. We're going to look side to the front and then other side. And we are slowly warming up here and isolating that head and that neck, moving side to side. Okay, after one more time, we are going to look up to the ceiling. So looking up, look straight ahead, look down to the floor. Again, up, straight ahead, down to the floor. So you'll notice I don't have any music playing around when I speak, and that's just simply to make sure that you can hear me. I don't have the best of technology devices here with me, but feel free to play some music on your own end. And let's do one more time, looking up to the ceiling, straight ahead, and down to the floor. Okay, let's warm up the shoulders this time. What we're going to do, I'll come a little bit closer. We are going to roll our shoulders forward. So we're making small circles with our shoulders. Rolling them forward, just our shoulders moving. Feel free to open up that chest, kind of engage that back. And let's do 3, 2, and 1. Roll it backwards this time. So same thing, simply just rolling it backwards. Taking deep breaths in and out. Again, we are warming up, so if this is too much, if it's too big of a circle, feel free to make it smaller, please. We want to make sure we are not shocking our muscles into doing movements that it's not quite warmed up to do yet. So, okay. We're going to continue with these shoulder circles, but this time we're going to add our elbows. So, let's start circling our shoulders forward again. So forward, forward, and then if we add our elbows, so what it looks like is adding the elbows like this, and then let's just go back to regular ones. And let's try that again. Add the elbows and go back to regular. So we are alternating, adding the elbows, and then just doing our regular movement. Adding the elbows again, and then our regular movement. Let's try that again. Elbows and shoulder circle. Elbows and shoulder circle. One more time. Elbows, shoulders, elbows, and just shoulders. Let's try this backwards this time. So, same thing. We are going to Just warm up again. Remember that feeling of rolling our shoulders back behind us. And then once we are warmed up, we are going to add elbows and then come back to our shoulder. Add the elbows again and shoulder. So if you've noticed, adding the elbows kind of makes you have to increase your range of motion a bit with the shoulders as well. So it's making these bigger movements feel a bit more of a stretch. I know I definitely do. And I'm also using and engaging my back muscles and opening up this chest right here to help out. Let's try one more time. So we're going to do elbows and then shoulders, elbows, and shoulders. And go ahead and rest. Take a deep breath in and out. Okay, we are going to move on to our arms this time. Extend the arms out to both sides. Imagine as though it's really going past your fingertips here, reaching out to the sides. And then what we're going to do is we are going to bring our hands a little bit back behind us. So from the side here, I have my arms straight to the sides, and then I'm going to simply bring it back behind me, open up that chest that you have, and then go ahead and return back to your just regular position. And let's try that again. Opening up that chest, engaging those back muscles, pulling back, and then come back. Let's try it 3 more times here. Let's go and extend a little bit farther back, opening up that chest. One more time. One more time after this one. And then last one here. Okay, to continue with these arms, we are going to do same thing, but we're also going to have our hands in front of us, kind of our palms meeting each other. So what it looks like from a bit to the side here, I have my hands and they're right in front of me, right here at my chest level. When they are here up in front of me, I'm going to slightly round my back. So try that. Slightly round your back as you have your hands put together in front. And then we are going to open up that chest and bring our hands back behind us. So there's multiple stretches happening here with our upper back slightly rounding and her chest opening up. We're going to try this 5 times here. So here's 1. Don't forget to breathe. 2. And we're moving slowly through this simply to really feel that stretch. Really feel your arms expand, your chest really open up, your back muscles engaging. And so it's not about speed here, it's about amount, the extent in which you can stretch. And we're going to do our last one here. And release. If you're like me, my arms got a little bit heavier by the end of that because we've had it up. And we are going to continue with these arms. Okay, so this time let's go ahead and have one arm to the side. Really feel like it's extending past you, really reaching far out to the side. And then we are going to have our arm come across like it's swiping something across the table. And making sure that our upper body is facing the front the whole time. So some people may feel the need to twist your body like this so you can extend a little bit farther to the side. We don't want that. We want to make sure we are facing the front the whole time, kind of square with the front here. So try that again. Arm to the side, have it come across. Don't fight that urge that resist from twisting here. Okay. Other arm this time, we're going to alternate left and right. And you may notice as you do it more and more times, you might be able to extend a little bit farther. And that's because we're warming up here And again, this is an all abilities exercise class, so feel free to adjust any of the movements as necessary, making bigger or smaller range of movement as opposed to what I'm doing. I'm simply just a guide, so don't feel the need to completely mirror what I'm doing. Okay, let's do it 2 more times on each side. Remember to keep that upper body facing the front, nice and square. You're not twisting. And one more. Okay. Release those arms. Let's come down to our wrists this time. So I'll come a little bit closer. Okay. Extend those fingers nice and wide. Really feel like it's stretching all the way out past your fingertips, and then gently curl into a fist. So try that again. Extend the fingers out, gently curl into a fist. And what we're doing here, these are small movements, but if we don't do them, we could lose the ability to do them as we grow older. So we don't want that. These small micro movements, they're very helpful. They help us do a lot of different things. We use our hands for everything. So want to make sure we're keeping them nice and loose. And again, I'm not going for speed here, but I'm really kind of just paying attention to each of my fingers, kind of that body awareness all the way down to my fingertips. So, okay, stretch those fingers again. Have your palms face the floor and then face the ceiling. So, rotate to the floor and then to the ceiling, and just going back and forth. Really be intentional with each movement that you do. Feel free to speed it up or slow it down. Doing some wrist rotations here. If your hands are starting to get tired, don't feel the need to keep on extending them. You can relax them as well. Okay, and let's touch each finger with our thumb. So we're simply going through each finger, letting it meet our thumb. And feel free to go as fast as you can. Change up the order in which you touch each finger. Again, these small micro movements, they may seem like it's not exercise, but these small movements do help us, and we want to make sure we're keeping our fingers nice and mobile so that we can continue to use them. Okay, and shake that off. Feel free to shake it off, or if it's too much to shake off your wrists here, feel free to kind of just wave it off as well. Do whichever one works for you. Okay, take a deep breath in and out. Drink some water if you haven't yet. And let's continue here. So what we're going to do next is we are going to have our hands right in front of us, palms kind of meeting each other right here. What we're going to do is we are going to place our hands in front of us at chest level to start out, and then we're going to put it to our pocket here. So it doesn't matter which side you start with first, but chest in front and then to the side to the pocket. So if I'm facing the front here, it looks like this. I'm slightly twisting my body left and right as I place my hands kind of right by, say, my side pockets here, if you have any pockets, pants with pockets on. And what we're simply doing is we are going through this movement, left and right alternating, and feel free to reduce the movement if you need to. Again, this is an all abilities exercise class, so if it is too much to kind of go all the way here, feel free to just keep it up here, kind of right in front of you, if it is too much to bring it all the way to the side like that. So feel free to adjust, take deep breaths in and out. I know that when we do a lot of movements, sometimes we might focus too hard and forget to breathe, and we don't want that for any of the exercises that we do today. So imagine you're rowing a boat, and we're going to do this 5 times on each side here. So here's 5, Don't forget to breathe. 3 and 2. Last one. And relax. Take another deep breath in and out. Okay, moving on to our legs this time. Let's go ahead and do some knee raises. So essentially, just simply march in place. We're staying seated right now. We'll be standing in a couple of movements here soon. But go ahead and raise those knees. If it is too much to raise it up high, remember that even just raising an inch off the ground, that is still work. That is still exercise that you're doing. So again, move to the best of your abilities, and if you can, try and raise those knees a little bit higher as we go, or raise them a little bit faster as well. Add a bit of cardio to this exercise. And of course, don't forget to breathe. So inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay. I'm going to speed it up a little bit for me here. Feel free to speed it up on your end if you would like. Oftentimes when we speed it up, we can't raise our knees as high, and that's okay. We're kind of focusing on speed here, so up to you how you'd like to do it. And let's go ahead and slow it back down. Take deep breaths in and out. And go ahead and rest. This time, let's extend one leg forward, and then return it back to the floor. Extend the other leg forward, return back to the floor. Again, if you can extend only maybe at this height, that's okay. Feel free to just extend at whichever height makes the most sense for you. If you can, try and do it parallel to the floor. This depends, of course, on our flexibility level as well. And you can also point your toe or flex. So pointing, kind of just pointing your toes outside. Flexing is kind of having your toes kind of face the ceiling or face you if they're that flexible. So up to you. I'll do both here. And that foot movement, it's an added stretch, not stretch, but added muscle activation here. I know I feel in my calves, so yeah. Okay, go ahead and rest. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in and out. Continuing with our feet moving, we are going to raise our heels off the ground. So if I'm facing the side here, I'm raising the heels off the ground and then raising the toes off the ground. So heels and then toes. Heels and toes. Just a little bit to the side here. So raising the heels, raising the toes up. And we are warming this up because we're going to do our sit to stand exercise next. That's where we really use our ankles to kind of help push that momentum, and our ankles are also our strong base of support for whenever we're just up and walking. So I want to make sure we're getting that nice and warmed up here before we start that exercise. Okay, let's do it 3 more times here. So we're going to do 1, raising the heels, toes, 2, heels, toes, and 3, and rest. Okay, so the sit to stand exercise, remember, have a chair that has no wheels underneath. If you've done this with me before, you already know how it goes. But what we're going to do, sit towards the edge of your chair. You want room underneath your legs, feet flat on the floor, kind of shoulders nice and rolled back. And we're going to keep our posture nice and straight the whole time here. And take a deep breath in and inhale. Deep breath out and exhale. First part, try sit to stand. This works for everyone, or it's the same movement, I mean, for everyone. So go ahead and extend far in front of you, your hands pointing out to in front, and then coming back to your seated position. Let's do that again. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, return. Remember to keep that posture nice and straight. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale, return. One more time here. Remember, keep your chin up, looking straight ahead, not down to the floor like this, but looking up and then coming back. Okay, so that is the first part to the sit to stand. We're not quite standing up yet. Here's the second part where we lift a little bit off our chair. So I'll show what a chair-assisted version of this looks like. So I have a chair right here. I'm going to place that right in front of me, and I'm going to use this to kind of boost myself up, kind of lift myself away from my chair a couple inches, maybe 2 or 3 if you can. And of course, if you don't feel comfortable lifting off your chair, feel free to continue the stretch forward and back, the leaning forward and back that we just did earlier. So, up to you. Here is the chair-assisted version first. We're going to start with our lean forward, no lifting, and then go into the second one because they kind of build off of each other here. So, you're increasing that momentum through each time. Let's start with the first part. Inhale, lean forward, no lifting. Exhale. Inhale, lift a little. And exhale. I think the hard part to that one is trying not to pop down in your chair once you come back down. So try and prevent that. Okay, so that's one variation. Here is the second variation where I simply just use my arms for momentum, kind of using that swing to help get me off the chair. Let's start with the very first part again where we don't lift, and then let's lift a little, just using that arm swing for momentum. Okay, take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Keep that posture upright and your chin up. Inhale, lean forward. Exhale. Swing those arms for momentum. Lift a little. And exhale. Okay, so that's the arm swing for momentum. If that is not enough momentum for you, there is one last variation, and that is also using your legs for momentum. So what that would look like is you lean back, lift those legs up. So if you're watching my legs right here, they're flat on the floor, but I'm going to lean back, lift those legs, and then use the legs to push down on the ground and that arm swing to lift myself up. So that is the third variation to the sit to stand. So let's try that, including the first movement again. So get seated in your chair towards the edge, feet flat on the floor, posture nice and upright. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. First part, leaning forward, no lifting. Inhale, exhale. Lift a little this time, doing that lean back. And then slowly, gently back down to the floor. Not the floor, the chair. Okay, so 3 variations. You can do the chair assisted. You can just do the arm swings or the arm swings with the leg. So feel free to choose whichever one. We're going to add our very last part here. And it is to stand all the way up. So we start off kind of just leaning forward and then lifting a little and then standing all the way up. And that is the full sit to stand exercise. Choose whichever variation makes the most sense to you. We're going to do it 3 different times. So actually, I'll show all 3 different variations here. So the first one is the chair right in front of me and the chair assisted version for the sit to stand. Okay, so first part, lifting, not lifting, but leaning forward, no lifting. Inhale, exhale, lift a little this time. Now stand all the way up. Inhale and exhale. Okay, so before you sit back down, we are going to take a step back until you feel that chair behind you. And you know where it is, you know where you're going to sit down. We're going to inhale, take a deep breath in. Exhale as we gently lower ourselves back to the chair and try not to plop down. Okay, let's do this a second time again. This time I'm going to do it with just the arm swing to show. So I'm seated towards the edge, feet flat, shoulders nice and rolled back. Let's go ahead, lean forward, no lifting. Exhale. Lift a little this time. Inhale. Exhale. Stand all the way up now. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, take a couple steps back. Feel that chair behind you. You know where it is. You know where you're going to sit down. Let's inhale through nose. Exhale through our mouth. And we're going to try this one more time, and then we're going to stay standing. Now, if you want to stay seated the whole time, don't worry. I'll show what seated variations of this looks like. Okay. Feet flat on the floor, sitting towards the edge, shoulders rolled back. And the last part now, inhale through nose. We're going to lean forward, no lifting. Exhale. Lift a little this time. Inhale. Exhale. Now stand all the way up. Inhale. And exhale. Drink some water if you haven't yet. Okay. So, this time, if you would like to have a chair-assisted version to any of our exercises, simply just have that chair in front of you to hold on to if you'd like. Otherwise, feel free to set it aside. I'm going to do that just so you can see what I'm doing with my legs. But go ahead and simply, we're going to warm up here. Simply just step side to the center and then side. Just doing these little side steps right here. Pretty simple. You can have your hands on your hips or just at your sides. But we are simply just easing into the movement of standing up. Feel free to adjust the width in which you step to the side. You can step farther if you would like, or step small, up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. And this time, if you want to add a variation to this, go ahead and lift those knees up like you're stepping over something, lifting them again. So lift the knees up and then lift. Lift the knees up and lift. So this is a bit of a balance exercise as well, especially the slower that you go. It makes it even more challenging in terms of balance. But seated down, keep going if you're standing up. This looks like this. So side, center, side, center. So this is a good variation for if you're seated down. I'm going to show another variation here for the folks standing up. And so if you are standing up, you can also step to the side and do a mini squat. So a mini squat simply is like, imagine you are sitting down in a chair and then standing up. And let's open up to the other side. Imagine as though you're sitting down in a chair and standing up. It is up to you how far you want to go down. Now, I'll show what it looks like from the side. You can imagine as though you're sitting down, doing this mini squat here. Up to you. A full-on squat, it's kind of like your whole leg is really pretty down low here. So it's up to you how low you'd like to go. And again, you know your body best, so feel free to adjust as needed for any of these movements. And also, if you want an extra kind of challenge here, try and imagine all of your weight down just kind of to the heels of your feet. So imagine as though you can still lift your toes up while you do this. And that's where you start to really feel kind of that energy happening down there. Makes it a bit more difficult, but you're engaging a lot more muscles too, though, at the same time. So, of course, if you're sitting down and doing this, you can't quite pretend like you're sitting down, so that's okay. Keep going with lifting those knees up. Feel free to lift them higher if you would like. And let's try this just one more time on each side here. So, to the side, mini squat. Other side, mini squat. Okay. Go ahead and rest. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, deep breath in, deep breath out. Now, seated or standing, just extend your leg and we're going to draw a circle with our toes. So, go ahead and draw that circle and rotate the other direction. This is a good balance exercise as well. Take deep breaths in and out. And switch feet. Other side, draw a circle. If you hear noises, as long as it's not painful, that's fine. I know I just did, but that's just my ankles kind of waking up. So, switch directions. Okay, we're going to do another kind of ankle circle here. So, this other one involves lifting your heel up. So heel is lifted, toes still in contact with the ground. And then we're going to draw a circle with that heel. It's a little bit easier to see from the front here, but we're drawing the circle with our heel while our toe remains in contact with the ground. Switch directions here. So, we're kind of also waking up our toes a bit too, with how it's kind of just dragging around here in a circle as well on the ground. But if this feels kind of weird to you, that's okay. It's not a movement that we're used to, but it stretches out our ankles as well. Let's switch other foot this time. So again, lift that knee, not knee, lift that heel up, and then toes still in contact with the ground. And then we're gonna draw a circle with the heel. Taking deep breaths in and out. And also, I forgot to mention, I don't have much weight at all on this foot that is circling. Switch directions. You kind of have most of your weight with the other leg that's just kind of staying in place here. So don't put any weight right here. Otherwise, you can't really fully stretch it and have it be loose. Okay. Okay. This time, go ahead and stand behind your chair. And what we're going to do next is we're going to hold on to that chair for support, or feel free to have your hands on your hips, whatever works. But we are simply going to go up on our toes, lifting those heels up, and then gently back down. So Remember to keep the same speed for lifting and then going gently back down. We're going to fight that gravity as we slowly lower ourselves back to the ground. Keep going if you are standing up. If you are sitting down, same thing. If you want it to feel more like a challenge for the folks who are sitting down, have your feet, or not have your feet, but have your weight slightly shift forward. So I am shifting my center of gravity here forward, and now my legs feel more of that weight that I have as well with my upper body. My legs are kind of shaking as I do this, so this makes it a lot more difficult as opposed to just kind of keeping your center of gravity here. But that is up to you how much of a challenge you'd like to make it for yourself. Of course, the farther you lean, it becomes more of a challenge. But try not to hunch your back though. Try and keep that back nice and engaged as you do this movement. Okay, so we're going to do 5 more times here. So whether you're seated or standing, let's start with 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm going to show the seated variation first, what it looks like. But this first part, we are going to extend one leg forward. This leg that we have extended forward, it's not locked in place. So have it a little bit slightly bent. Don't lock out that knee. We want to keep that knee nice and safe, nice and soft. And then have your foot not flat to the ground like this. So not flat, but flexed. Flexed meaning your toes pointing up to the ceiling. You feel that muscle engaged in the back. And what we're going to do is we are simply going to lean forward until we feel a stretch right up through the underside of our leg. And once we feel that stretch, we can remain in it for a few seconds. And then go ahead and release that. Other side, extend the leg. Don't lock out that knee. Foot is flexed, meaning toes pointing up to the ceiling. And then we are simply going to lean forward until we feel a stretch. All the way, the whole leg feeling that stretch. And relax. Let's try that again. Extend that leg forward. Don't lock out that knee. Toes pointing up to the ceiling. And extend forward. Not extend, but shift forward. Okay, and other side. Extend that leg. Don't lock out that knee. Toes up to the ceiling. And leaning forward. So we are not hunching our back when we lean forward. We're keeping our back nice and engaged, nice and straight the whole time. So keep doing that if you are seated down. If you are standing up, you can also do that. It's a good exercise as well, but you'll feel more of a stretch by stepping about an arm's length away from the chair. Put one foot in front of the other. Hands on the back of the chair here, and then we're going to shift our weight forward. Now watch my back leg. My back leg is nice and outstretched. It's not bent like this, but nice and outstretched. And both of my feet are flat on the floor. So that's when you feel a nice good stretch here in the back leg. And go ahead, try that on the other side. One foot in front of the other. Keep the feet nice and flat on the floor. And extend. Really keep this leg nice and extended. And relax. Let's try that again. One foot in front. Shift the weight forward. Keep the feet nice and flat the whole time. Kind of that heel cord stretch is what's happening here. And relax. Other side. One foot in front of the other. And shift that weight forward. Keep that leg nice and outstretched here in the back. And relax. Okay, take another deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. So for the folks who are sitting down, continue with those stretches. I'm going to show another variation for the folks who are standing up here. What we're going to do is we're going to extend our leg back behind us, similar to what we were doing earlier. We're extending the leg back behind us, and then bring our feet back to center. So extend one leg back behind us, foot back to center. So extending that leg, keeping that leg nice and straight, back to center, extending that leg, back to center. So for some of you, you might notice that when you extend your leg out like this, you lean forward. Try not to do that. Try to keep yourself nice and upright the whole entire time as you do this exercise. So I know that tests our flexibility a bit, but keep going here. Extending back behind us, coming back, extending back behind us, and coming back. And keep on going, extending and back, extending and back. So another extra exercise is to extend back and then keep that leg nice and extended as you lift a little and rest. So kind of imagine you're kind of like a ballerina or something. Well, actually, no, you don't even need to imagine that. But imagine as though you're lifting up and you feel that engagement with the glutes, the butt here. And it's a nice, good stretch. Again, try not to lean forward. Don't do this. Keep yourself nice and upright the whole time. And really extend as far as you can. Now, of course, if you cannot quite extend back, you can just do that as well. So, kind of here's the variation where we're not extending. We're not keeping our legs straight. And that's okay. You're still using a lot of the same muscle movements here. It's just a little bit easier, a little bit less of a strain on your leg, and as long as we are moving, that's the important part. So, okay, one more on each side. Okay, take another deep breath in, deep breath out, drink some water. Okay, so feel free to have the hands in front of your chair, you're not in front, but on your chair if you need that support. What we're going to do next is we are going to slightly bend our knees, keep the knees nice and soft the whole time, and then we are keeping our feet flat on the floor. We're making sure they're flat because now we're going to really practice this body awareness that we have as we gently circle our hips. So when we are circling our hips like this, try and focus where your weight is shifting. So your feet are flat on the floor the whole time. Now you can feel your weight shifting kind of towards your heels when you're going to the back, a little bit more towards your toes as you have your hips a little bit forward. So kind of play around with that body awareness that we are practicing with our feet, these small micro movements. This is something that we teach in our Tai Chi Chuan, Moving for Better Balance class. It is a juniper class, a fall prevention Tai Chi class. And so it's really helpful to be aware of your body with all these small movements because they do help us stay in place and not fall. Okay, switch directions. Keep on feeling that weight shift to different parts of your foot. And of course, also kind of feel that nice stretch that we're feeling in our hips, hopefully. And if it is too much to do big movements, keep them small. Keep them nice and small as well. And Remember to listen to your body the whole entire time through any of the movements that we do today. Okay, switch directions again. Now, instead of just focusing on your weight shifting through different parts of the foot, what I want you to focus next is focus on just isolating this hip. So imagine you are balancing something on your head, and it's just your hips moving around in a circle. Remember, keep those knees nice and soft. And you're not doing kind of this whole thing right here. So try not to move your upper body like that. Try and isolate the hips the whole time as you move. I'll show what this looks like seated down. Keep going if you're standing up. Now, if you are seated down, you can't really isolate your hips. And it's quite hard. I don't even know how to do it. So you do have to move your upper body when you're sitting down. It makes it a slightly different exercise, but you're still kind of playing around with that first part of just really feeling that weight shift to different parts of your leg, to the glutes and the back, the butt muscles in the back. And of course, you're engaging that core so that you don't go far to one side and start losing your balance. So that is also what's happening here as you sit down. Switch directions if you haven't yet. So it looks slightly different, that's okay. As long as we continue to move, that is the important part to any of the movements that we do today. And of course, we save these videos every week. Feel free to go back to previous ones or go back to this one if you need to take a break and kind of just pause for the day. And of course, thank you so much for continuing to watch these. Okay, go ahead and rest. Feel free to sit down if you'd like. We're going to move on to our sitting exercises next. And let's take a small break, drink some water. We're going to do some deep breathing here in a little bit. Okay, so let's place our hands on our stomach. Do some belly breathing again here. So inhale through your nose, filling that belly all the way in with air. Inhale, hold, and then exhale it all out. Try that again. Inhale all the way in, and then exhale it all out. One more time here. Inhale all the way in. Exhale all the way out. Okay, so continuing with our kind of more gentle movements here. Let's go ahead this time. Come back to our head and our neck. And so what we're going to do is we are going to pull our shoulders down. So remember, they are pulling down, and then we are leaning to one side. When we lean to one side like this, imagine as though we're trying to touch our ear to our shoulder, but we're not doing this where we're lifting our shoulder. We're keeping the shoulders nice and pulled down, and we feel a stretch right here on the side. So inhale, exhale. Try that on the other side. Again, remember to pull those shoulders down, but lean as far as you can to the side without any pain. If you feel pain, please reduce the range of motion in which you're turning your head into. So go ahead and inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Other side again. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, release. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay. If you feel comfortable, this is an if you feel comfortable, we're going to do some more movements with our head and our neck. And we're going to do some circling. So imagine as though you are leaning again and you're not stretching really. You're kind of just letting the weight of your head moving back behind you, moving to the side, and then looking down. And do that again, another circular movement. Remember, for this one, if at any part of this you feel pain or a lot of stiffness, go ahead and take a step back. You don't have to continue. Let's try this on the other side. So feel that weight of your head. You're not really stretching it. You're just letting the weight kind of roll around here to different parts. And we're slowly moving this to keep ourselves nice and safe. And making sure we control the movement the whole time. Okay, go ahead and relax. Do some belly breathing again here. Take a deep breath in and inhale. Deep breath out, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, so let's go ahead this time. Have our hands extend nice and far out to the sides. Really imagine as though you have, you're extending past your fingertips here. And then you're going to give ourselves a nice big hug. We're going to inhale and squeeze. Exhale, release. Again, inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Your bottom arm is now going to come right here on top. Same exact thing. We're going to inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. And let that go. Okay, continuing with our movements here, small gentle movements. We are going to turn to the side and turn our body along with it. So our upper body, our shoulders are following our head and our neck as we look side to side here. And if you feel ready to, go ahead and look all the way back behind you and then return facing the front. Looking back behind you, and then face the front. And keep going here, left and right, taking deep breaths in and out as you go all the way through. And of course, if it is too far to look all the way back behind you, feel free to just continue looking to the side or to whatever range of motion makes the most sense for you, and making sure that we keep ourselves safe and breathing throughout all of these movements. Let's do it 2 more times on each side. Let's do 1. And 2. And release. Take a deep breath in again. Deep breath out. We're going to do some breathing movements now to end the day. So place your hands on your stomach. We're going to inhale for 4 counts, hold, and then exhale for 4 counts. So go ahead. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. Try that again. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Exhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. One last time here. Inhale, 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So thank you for joining me today. My name is Carmel. I work with Eastside Neighborhood Services with the Vital Living Program. This is one of the many classes that we do at Vital Living. This is our Vital Fitness Home Edition class. We are planning to bring this back in person to Eastside over in Northeast Minneapolis, back into our building. So that is something that's happening after this month. So this is actually the last month in which we're doing these virtual exercises over Facebook Live. But we will continue to kind of release the previous recordings every Tuesdays, the 10:30 to 11:30 time. So if you'd like to still continue watching them, don't worry, we'll still pop up hopefully in your feed if you are following us on Facebook. And also, you can watch these videos on YouTube as well. We have our YouTube account, Eastside Neighborhood Services, that you can also watch these same videos on. So, we have a lot of upcoming things. Our Tai Chi Chuan class. We have a Tai Chi practice class that's going to be over Zoom at the end of this month. And then we have our current Matter of Balance Fall Prevention Juniper class as well that's happening in person at Eastside. So we'll continue to have all these classes. If you are interested to learn more about these, feel free to leave a comment and I'll save, or I'll not save, but I will also comment a way to look at our monthly newsletter to find out what else is happening. But thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.